All right, y'all, we're back, and today, man, we're gonna be doing something a little bit different today, man. We're gonna be doing a tier list on Capcom's versus fighting game list. We're doing a tier list. Let me repeat that again. We're doing a tier list on Capcom's, sorry about that, versus fighting games. And I think I got about 10 or 11 games on here. No, this is my list. If you feel like, my list is flawed, let me know why. But without further ado, man, let's get to it. All right, here we are. We're gonna start from left to right. Tier list. This is the my tier list of Capcom versus fighting games. Capcom, Marvel, anything that has to do with Capcom. So we're gonna start off with, actually, yes, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Is Marvel vs. Capcom 3 GOAT, great, good, okay, or mid? For right now, I'm going to put good. I'm going to put good. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was a good. No. Should it be great? I don't know. Should it be great? No. I think it's good at good. I think it's good at good because it was a good game. Had a lot of good characters, but was it? I don't know. Like they made an Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 for a reason. So Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was a good game, and it's very playable. Had a good character roster, so I'm not mad at it. And that's just it's that good right now, just for right now. Until I might have a change of heart and stuff through it, at the end or whatnot. Now next we got Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I'm gonna put this in the great tier. I like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because the graphics were great, updated graphics, gameplay was great, had a good character amount of characters you could select from. Stages look good, man. Combo system on there was OD, as usual. You're gonna get from Marvel vs. Capcom game. This is definitely one of the great Marvel vs. Capcom games. I'm not even gonna lie. Ultimate 3 was very slept on, better than most versus games that Capcom has. It's not at that GOAT tier yet, though. It's definitely not. To me, it's not. It's not at that GOAT tier list yet. I don't know. That's just me. But it is a great game, though. It's very replayable, and I still play that game to this day. Alrighty. X-Men versus Street Fighter. What is this? What level is this game on? I'm going to say, man, I don't want nobody to get mad at me. Is it GOAT? Is X-Men versus Street Fighter the GOAT? Is it one of the GOATs? I don't know, man. Is it? Cause man, like this could be. It's definitely a great game because it really it really kicked the doors open as far as versus games goes. But it could easily be one of the GOATs, man. But right now, I'm gonna put great. I'm gonna put great right now. Please don't be mad at me. This is my list. But right now, I'm gonna put great. X-Men versus Street Fighter. I'm gonna give you a story. Let me give you a story. And a lot of y'all probably that's been following my channel heard this story already. I remember when I was a kid. I think I was like 4th or 5th grade, right? My dad comes home from work. He goes, "Son, you want to go to the arcade? They have this game called X-Men versus Street Fighter." And I look at my dad. I'm like, "Dad, man, I don't believe that, man. There's no such thing as a game like that. Like they really gonna put two things like that together?" He goes, "Nah, just come with me." So we go to the arcade, and it's called the Tilt. If anybody remember this arcade called the Tilt, y'all are probably pretty much the same age as me. I just remember walking inside the Tilt, and then I see a big mob of people, and they're surrounding this Asian kid. And all I see, and I look at the screen, and it's Ryu versus Ryu. Don't bite my head off. Ryu versus Wolverine. Man, I just remember this Asian kid. He's going through everybody. He's whooping everybody. And in order for you to get your next to play, you had to put your quarter on the arcade machine. And yeah, though, man, that was my introduction to X-Men versus Street Fighter. And I feel like that game alone probably changed the trajectory of the versus games, period, from my standpoint. But let's get back to it. Yeah. But right now it's at great, and it could easily be a GOAT, for setting the foundation of those versus fighting games. Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. I'm going to put good. It's between good and okay. You know what? I'm gonna put okay. Okay isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. The reason why I'm gonna say okay is you couldn't tag out on the PlayStation version of this game. You couldn't tag out. Maybe on the arcade version, but the PlayStation version you couldn't tag on this game. It's crazy because this game had so many. It had a whole bunch of characters on it. I guess from your assist. I guess your assist character or your mini assist character or something. Whole bunch of characters on it, but you couldn't use them. You couldn't use them. Like, anybody that remembers playing this game knows that you couldn't use every character on this game. And you couldn't tag out. This game would probably be one of the greats if you could tag out though, but maybe that's just the PlayStation version. Okay isn't bad. Please don't be mad at me when I say this. Okay is not bad. Now when I say mid, and I'm not even gonna say mid is bad. Mid is probably right above. It's like it's average. Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna put mid. But matter of fact, let me put average instead. Average. Okay. Average is not bad. It's just the lowest tier of all of them. Okay. Next one, Capcom versus SNK. I'm going to say this game was okay. Nothing really to rave about, but it's a solid game. It's a pretty solid game. It's not bad or whatever. It had I want to say it had a solid amount of characters on there, but it's not bad. Not a bad game at all. It's not my favorite versus game out of all of them, but it's a solid game. Next one is Capcom versus SNK 2. Man, I love this game. I really love this game, man. I did a video not too long ago and on Capcom vs SNK 2, and I forgot how fun this game was, even from the background of the stages, the amount of characters you can get, and it was certain characters on there that I didn't even realize we had access to. And I was playing the Japan version on my Dreamcast, and man, like you could pick Evil Ryu, regular Ryu, Akuma, and you know you got your SNK characters, Guy, Terry Bogard, Chun-Li, Blanca being on there really set things off for sure. And Bison. This game just really is, and it felt smooth playing the game or whatever. The crazy thing was this was the Dreamcast version. So like, and that's why I'm hoping that we get a port over from, you know, just like on PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and Steam, and Xbox hopefully. I hope we get a port over just like they're doing Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. My tier for this one, I want to say great. It's a great game. This is one of the greats. This is one of the great games for sure. Is it GOAT level yet? Debatable. This could be debatably, you know, one of the GOATs. It could be. But I think for now, it's one of the greats. We're going to go Marvel versus Capcom. The first one. I'm going to say the GOAT. I'm going to say this is one of the GOATs. And if you played the Dreamcast, I think Marvel vs. Capcom had a Dreamcast version where you could tag out. Now, if we going strictly off the PlayStation version of Marvel vs. Capcom when you couldn't tag out, then it would just be good. It would be right here. But the Marvel vs. Capcom version on Dreamcast, and I believe it was on Sega Saturn? I don't know. The version where you could tag out and the arcade version, it's one of the GOATs. Marvel vs. Capcom, the very first Marvel vs. Capcom, oh my goodness, from Spider-Man, Venom, Ryu, Ken, Iron Man, War Machine. Was War Machine on Marvel vs. Capcom? The first one? I'm not sure. That's one of the GOATs. It's not even debatable, for sure. The next one, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know that's the GOAT. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 that's the standard. To me, that's the standard of versus fighting game. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Like, this is in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the way you unlock characters was way before DLC was even a thing. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, man, hold up, man. I gotta repeat that for y'all. Hold up, let me change screens. Look, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, to unlock characters before DLC was a thing, you actually got to unlock them for free, where you're basically trying to stack points up to where you could buy them from the store. You're not using your actual money or whatever. You're using basically fighter currency. Not fighter currency. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it fighting currency. You gotta use fighting currency to buy characters. You could buy stages, and you could buy, I believe, outfit colors and stuff like that. But man, this game right here is the GOAT. It's the standard of versus fighting games. If I'm not, man, this might be Capcom's best versus fighter game. From, man, characters, Charlie, Guile, Ryu, Spider-Man, Venom, Iron Man. Oh my goodness. Sentinel, Thanos, Hulk. Goodness, like the characters goes on and on, man. This is definitely one of the GOATs, man. And it's the standard for, like, man, I feel like this was like and it's crazy how much this game costs if you're trying to find a physical copy of it. It's expensive. Same thing with Capcom versus SNK 2. It's an expensive fighting game to find. It's one of those games where if you got it, man, if you got it or whatnot, somebody probably wants to buy it off you on the spot. And then it's basically price gouging of the game, but it's worth it. And I just remember as a kid, I used to play this game for hours and hours and hours. And like that's why I cannot wait for Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection to drop, because this is one of them ones. All right, moving along. Oh my goodness, man, y'all gonna be mad at me about this. SNK versus Capcom SVC Chaos. Y'all sure y'all gonna be mad at me about this, right? Oh, is it average? Ugh. Yeah, it's average, y'all. I got it at average. Is it a better game than Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter? Absolutely not. Is it better than I would say it's close to Capcom versus SNK, but it's not better than that game. It's not. SVC Chaos, we're gonna it's average. And average isn't bad. Average is average gets you by. In life, average does get you by, you know. Okay. Here's why I say Capcom versus SNK versus Capcom SVC Chaos is average. For its time, like it was a good game. It was a solid game for its time, but compared to all the other games on this list, though, man, it's average, man. It's like the gameplay, it's fun. It can be stiff at times. The music is it's not very motivating when you listen to the music. When I listen to Marvel vs. Capcom 2, gonna take you for a new ride. Dun, 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 dun. Everybody that hears that song knows exactly what game that is. When you hear the music from SVC Chaos, you kind of get depressed. The game isn't bad though, man. I like the secret characters on there. Shin Akuma's on there, Zero's on there from Mega Man. It's a lot of good solid characters on there though, man. What I like most about the game are the secret characters. Gameplay is cool. Yeah, it's not if we talking about compared to the rest of the games, it's definitely average. But average isn't bad. It's just lower than the other tiers, and I'm pretty sure people are gonna argue with me about that. But it is what it is. This is my list. Back to the final two: Street Fighter versus Tekken. And is this even a Capcom game? Because it technically fights like a Street Fighter game. So yeah, we're gonna say this is a Capcom game. I'm gonna say okay. And that might change once I'm able to play it again. It's not one of the greats. I don't know. I remember when I was playing on it, at times it felt stiff whenever I played it, and it might change for me whenever I do play it again. And it's crazy that I can't even access the game right now. I can't even access Street Fighter versus Tekken right now because it ain't on the PlayStation networks. I have a PS5, so backwards compatibility does not work on it with physical disc because it's a PlayStation 3 game. So you can't, and an Xbox 360 game. So it won't play on, I don't know, will it play on my Xbox 360 if I had a physical? I gotta ask somebody. I gotta figure it out or whatever, because I have an Xbox Series X as well. But yeah, what I remember when I first played Tekken, Street Fighter versus Tekken, I remember because because I'm biased because I'm more of a Tekken person. I like Tekken's gameplay when it comes to Tekken players. Like, I wasn't feeling it at the time. It was a good game, but it didn't keep me playing, which that's why I really want to buy it again and play it again to see if I misjudged the game. And it might actually still be good to stand the test of time. I just feel like Tekken characters, like Street Fighter gameplay, to me doesn't translate to Tekken players. I guess it was still fun. I don't know, like it didn't have a lot of replay value for me. Maybe because I'm a Tekken fan though. But I feel like the Tekken version of that game probably would have been a whole lot better. Like not even without a shadow of a doubt. And it would have turned into a great game. Because if I'm mistaken, Akuma was on one of the Tekkens. I don't know if it was Tekken 5 or Tekken 6. I'm not sure which one it was, but Akuma was on one of the Tekkens. So Street Fighter characters definitely translate to Tekken. I just don't think the Street Fighter gameplay translates to Tekken fighters. But it did work though. But at the end of the day though, man, to me it's still that good. Not a bad game. I really want to play it again, and I actually was looking for it the other day until I found out that you can't play it on disc or whatever on current gen right now. Well, next gen. But the final one, we're gonna go back to the final one, and that is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I didn't like this game, y'all. I didn't like this game. I gotta put average. A lot of y'all gonna be mad at me. The reason why I'm putting average is because yeah, it played stiff and they missed the mark on this game. They didn't have all the fan favorite characters on there. The DLC, you have to buy, I believe you have to buy characters and stuff as usual. But yeah, like this game didn't pan out well. I feel like Capcom and Marvel missed the mark on this game. But like I'm saying though, man, out the gate, they didn't have a lot. The roster wasn't that big out the gate. And when it comes to Marvel, the standard for Marvel vs. Capcom games, you're supposed to have a big enough roster, and you're supposed to have a lot of characters on the roster to even do fighting games. And at the end, it was 2v2. It wasn't a 3v3 game like I think Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and 2. With the lack of characters and the lack of fan favorite characters on there, which they should have, if this is supposed to be Infinite, you're supposed to have the stock characters on there, and you're supposed to have some newer characters that's usually not on the Marvel vs. Capcom games or whatever. They missed the mark with this game. I'm just gonna say it's average. I'm gonna be respectful. Respectfully, this game was average, and it wasn't Marvel vs. Capcom. It wasn't Capcom's best fighting game. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was light years better than this game. Light years, and I don't know why they didn't continue the mark of that game. To me, the graphics on Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate was better than Infinite. Infinite just seemed, I don't want to say stale, but yeah, it wasn't my favorite game. But so here we're gonna go back or whatever and review Marvel on average. The average games we have Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is good. I apologize. Yep, here it is. This is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, y'all. There we go. I found it, y'all. Sorry about that. Let's review this list. Average. Here's the average Capcom fighting game list. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, average. To me, it's average. It wasn't the best game. SVC Chaos, SNK vs. Capcom SVC Chaos, wasn't the best game. It wasn't, but it was a good game. It was solid. It was fun. Wasn't the best versus game out there. Next list we're going to OK. Street Fighter vs. Tekken was an okay game. It wasn't top of the line. It was okay. Was it Capcom versus SNK? Was an okay game. It's almost similar to SVC Chaos, but a little better. But no, it's better than SVC Chaos, definitely. Also okay, Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. The reason why I'm saying that is okay because PlayStation version you couldn't tag out. And it had all those characters. It had extra characters like assist characters or whatever. Like it was like a little mini box that had a whole bunch of other characters that you had no access to. And that to me that was a problem. We're gonna move on to the good category. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, good game. It's a good game. It's a very good game if we are being honest. Technically, it almost close to the great, but it's not great. It's a good game. Moving on to the great list. SNK vs. Capcom 2 could easily be one of the GOATs. Could easily, but we're gonna leave it at great. We're gonna leave it at great. Love the background, the 3D, like the interactive background actually doing something. The music slapped. It was great. Again, this is easily could go back and forth between being great and GOAT. X-Men versus Street Fighter, another one of the great versus games, and this could debatably be one of the GOATs. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put X-Men vs Street Fighter up there. It's one of the GOATs. I apologize. I apologize, y'all. X-Men vs Street Fighter is definitely one of the GOATs. Just based off the story I told y'all, it has to be one of the GOATs. And I'll tell you why it's one of the GOATs. Okay. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's a great game. It's definitely one of the great games. I wish that Infinite would have continued what Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was doing. But they didn't. They missed the mark on Infinite. That's why it's average. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Ultimate 3, 3v3, man, like they had a great character selection, combo system, OD again. Visually, it looks incredible. Great game. Back to the GOATs now. X-Men versus Street Fighter, one of the GOATs. It could have been one of the greats, but I had to remember X-Men versus Street Fighter, to me, probably revolutionized like those versus games. I just remember when I was a kid and I first played it. First time I seen Street Fighter characters versus X-Men characters. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is the standard of versus games, so we already know that's GOAT level, GOAT status. Not even debatable. Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2, both GOAT level fighting games, versus fighting games, and are the standard. Not even close. I don't think any other game comes close to Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for sure. If we talking about what changed the game in fighting games, man, if we talking about one of the most sought after fighting game versus fighting games ever, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 by a long shot is up there, and it's definitely deserves to be one of the GOATs. Same thing with Marvel vs. Capcom, man. But that is my list, man. Capcom's versus fighting game tier list. Y'all let me know in the comments how y'all feel. Is my list off? If it is off, man, let me know why, and let me know what your fighting tier list would be. Come back and comment and let me know if I was wrong and what should be up there, what should be higher or lower. Let me know how you feel about it, man. But you already know what to do, man. It's Architect Mr. J with another video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, like, comment, share. Until next time, peace.